Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create topography. If I go to my 3D view here, you're going to see I have a topographic line drawing in here that has three-dimensional or 2D lines that have been moved in the Z, and that's what you need to create topography in Revit. Once you have that in here, you can go to your Massing and Site tab, go to Topo Surface, create from Import, select Import Instance, and hover until you get Topo's drawing. You see where that's coming up? And left click, and it will give you the selected layers. And I'm going to turn off the 0 and the depth points because I only want these layers to create topography. So I click OK, and it goes through and it places points on that topography. I'm going to go into my site plan. A couple of things you can do just right off the bat. You can see that it's creating these points, and if I pick that point, it's going to tell me that one's -15, this one's going to be -7, so it's just stepping the contours up based on those points. You will get some anomalies because of the weighting. So for example, to get rid of these little jagged lines, you can come in, and because I know this is -15, I can place a point, and I can say I want to place a point at -15, and if I place a point kind of at the point of that guy and do the same thing over here, these are also -15, those guys will pop back in. So you can come in and sort of move things around as you'd like. Revit does approximate things, so sometimes there's just not much to be done. If we go to our 3D view, you'll see that we have topography. I'm going to go ahead and unload the topography line drawing for right now because we don't really need it. So I'm going to go to Insert, I'm going to go to Manage Links, and in your Manage Links you'll have a CAD format, and I'm just going to unload that. Click OK. So now I just have the buildings. The next thing I want to do is I want to put the roads in. Okay, so this contours are all one material, but I'd like to see the roads as a separate material. I'm going to go back to my site plan. I'm going to go to Insert, Link CAD, and I'm going to get the roads. I'm going to click Open. I'm going to say yes, I know I can't see it. And then I'm going to go to my south elevation. And I'm going to move this down just so it's within that 200 feet of the view range of the site. So if I move that down to there and I go back to the site plan, you're going to be able to see those roads. And if I pick that, I can then move it from there to there and align it. So the next thing I'm going to do is use a region. So if I go to Massing and Site, and I'm going to go to my 3D view for this one, I'm just going to go to Subregion. And it says the work plane can't be used in this view. You need to pick another one. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I close that, go to Architecture, go to Set, and I'm going to set as my work plane, which is not associated, the Doyle Plan A0, which is our bottom level. And I'll click OK, and now it will allow me to go to Massing and Site and go to Subregion. I'm going to go to the pick line, and because this CAD drawing was done as a polyline, I can and insert it as a separate line drawing. I can hover over one of those lines and tap my tab key. So I'm just tapping it, and it'll select all the connected lines, and I then left click, and it selects them. And if I hit the big green check, it says, nope, can't do it. You don't have a closed area. Please check this area that is yellow. And so I'm like, all right, so I'll continue. I'll come down in here and I'll draw a line that closes that. It has to be closed. If you have overlapping lines, it won't work. So we talked about sometimes it's better to start over than to try and find the overlapping lines, depending on how many there are. So if I hit check, it goes through, and now I can pick that as a separate region and bring up my materials dialog box, and I'm just going to put concrete on that. We'll put the sky on it, click OK, and then I'll also come in and pick this and the overall surface, and we'll put sand on it. So I'm just going to type up site here, and there's sand, and I'm going to go to the appearance, and I'm just going to turn that down so hopefully it gets a little lighter, and then Click OK. And now I have sand and the roads. Problem with the roads, they're going through the creek. So I'm going to edit boundary. I'm going to draw a line from where I think they should be divided. Right there, right there, and right there. And then you can go through and delete the ones in the middle, that one, and oh no, that one's not going to go. That one looks like it's going to go. And then you can trim. There's a trim command. So here's the trim. You pick what you want to keep, and make sure you pick the end of the line. Pick what you want to keep. Pick what you want to keep. Pick what you want to keep, and making sure you get the very last bit of the line. Let's see if it'll do it. Oh, those are two separate lines, so I'm just going to delete that one and then trim these guys out. And then if I do the big green check, I get an error message because down here I have an overlapping line. So I'm going to continue, and it looks like I've got a couple of random lines. So I'm just going to delete this one and see if that does it. So now the roads are not going through the thing. Okay, so next time when we come back, we'll do the building pad and the buildings.